for my Sketch to Scrap Saturday video series. So and today I've got this sketch for you which contains a bunch of photos. So this sketch has multiple photos, but they're all kind of varying in sizes. So the aim of this sketch, to be honest, in my in my mind was actually to use up a bunch of chipboard frames that I've got in my stash. So the actual photos themselves, the size of these photos, are actually determined essentially by the frames that I am going to be using. So as you can see there, I've got 5 frames in total, and there's going to be one larger photo, which is I think it's a 3x3 one, 3 inches by 3 inches, but it really depends on the frames what frames are you using. And I've got a lot of them in my stash, and I kind of just want to use some up. And also I'm going to be adding something interesting on the left hand side. As you can see, that grey part there, I am actually going to be adding some stamping directly onto the background page. So I'm going to be using a white cardstock there, but I'm going to be stamping directly onto the background piece, and I'm going to be stamping repetitively so that it creates almost a pattern paper on the left side of that sketch there. But by all means, you know, if you want to put a strip of pattern paper, that would work there as well. So let's get started. So apart from the chipboard frames, I'm actually going to be using this stamp set from Ali Edwards, and this one is actually from the Go Story stamp. And I'm actually going to be using this stamp which says Go. I'm going to be stamping repetitively, as I said before, just on the left hand side of this that white cardstock there. And what you see me doing here, I'm just trying to mat out a portion of the background piece so that I could almost create an edging effect, so that there's a clear edge between the stamp area and the white space area. And I'm actually just kind of using a piece of pattern paper, which I'm not going to be using, and just cut that up and then sticking that down. And as you can see there, I'm just using my Post-it to stick that down, because I don't have a kind of a repositionable glue. So I'm using this stamp which says Go, and I'm using the Memento Luxe ink, and this red one is actually called Love Letter. I actually was going to use the grey one, but I decided to go with something a little bit brighter, so this red one worked with, I like this red one a lot. The colour is great. And I'm essentially stamping them repetitively. As you can see there, I'm trying to make sure that I have enough at the edge of that, between the white cardstock as well as the pattern paper there, just so that it creates a clear edge, where the stamped image ends. And I stamp near the area at the edge first, so that it's the darkest, and then I stamped in multiple other areas just to create some sort of a kind of flowing effect. And now I'm just kind of, I open it up and look through it and decide to just add a couple more to create this edge, to make sure that this edge is, very clear. And yeah, actually, I got this idea from, stamping repetitively and creating this edge actually from Ali Edwards, who actually created these stamp sets. So thank you, Ali. So these are really cool. And the next thing I'll be doing is I'm just going to be choosing a bunch of chipboards which I've got in my stash. As you can see there, I'm actually store all of them in a kind of a Project Live tray. So when you purchase the Project Live core kit, you'll get these trays, and I essentially just cut them up, in whatever size I want them to be. And I use them to store embellishment, chipboards, and all these things. And I've also got a video which tells, I guess, walk through how I store my embellishments, and I will just link that in the description just in case some of you who might want to have a look. And I'm just choosing a bunch of chipboards with chipboard frames, and they are from Simple Story and the crepe paper ones. I think they're from Maggie Holmes crepe paper as well. And now I'm simply trimming off the photos. So I printed out a bunch of photos, and I think they're 3x3, and they're I think 2x2, 1.5 by 1.5, and one which is about 2x3. So as I said before, these photos, it really depends, the size of these photos really depend on your chipboard frames. So if you've got a bigger chipboard frames, you probably need a bigger photo, or to be honest, because they essentially are, I've got in total 4 photos. I actually was going to do 5 photos, decided to go with 4, but then add that chipboard piece there that says yes. And now I'm just kind of moving it around just to see, I want to make sure that it fits relatively evenly, and I'm just using my tape runner to stick down the photo, but when it comes to sticking down the chipboards themselves, the chipboard frames themselves, I actually will be using the glossy accent. They're actually much better at making, sticking down something that's actually quite thick and bulky. Another alternative to using these glossy accent would be the red tape, but in my opinion these glossy accent are much easier to deal with, just mainly because you don't have to peel them and all these things, but you just need to make sure that they dry before you move them around. And so I just stuck that down using my glossy accent very liberally, and just making sure that they stick down quite well. And some of these chipboards actually already have adhesive on them, but to be honest, they don't stick down very well. So I tend to just kind of double up and then just add a little bit of gloss accent, and they're all good. There's stick down, there's the real stuck down, I guess. As you can see here, I'm actually going through a bunch of embellishments, and these embellishment die cut pieces are actually from the Hip Kit Club scrapbook kit, and I believe this one is actually from the June scrapbook kit. And so I'm just going through a bunch of them, to be honest, and just deciding which one I want to use, and I'm already saying the word go repetitively, and I kind of want something that would fit quite well with that word. So go such great times, and I thought that sounds good. And I'm just looking through also another Hip Kit Club's scrapbook kit, and this one is actually from, I believe, from the May from May 2016. And I've chosen that tag, that red tag, which is from the May scrapbook kit. And my plan is to add just a few embellishments underneath that, and to get my journaling onto the page. And so I'm just kind of going through. I'm kind of a bit indecisive, to be honest. I'm kind of like, which one do I want? Which one do I want? And so I also ended up with another label there, which is from the May scrapbook kit. And I think, to be honest, I don't really have a plan. If you ask me what I'm looking for, I'm kind of just want something that fits with the story, the color scheme up. I stamped a bit of red onto it, and so I want to keep the red color. And I do like the navy and the yellow that's on the title there. So I want to ensure that there's some more navy onto the page there as well. I'm actually popping that up using my foam dots. I got these foam dots from my local scrapbooking store. They're quite inexpensive, but then they're acid free. So I think American Crafts make some as well, but I think the American Crafts one are a little bit too thick in my opinion. I like them quite thin, so it doesn't, they don't add too much, I guess, bulkiness onto my page. And now I'm just kind of choosing, I'm thinking of choosing, well, I'm choosing a bunch of stickers from the Amy Tan's sticker book, and that one is actually from the Better Together line. So I chose that bike, almost, I think it's a tandem actually, because there's two people. Yeah. No, actually, no, that's a normal bike, because the tandem would have... No, actually, I'm not sure. It looks like a tandem to me. So I also stuck down, sorry about that, it's a bike, okay. So I also stuck down that that label, that die cut piece which says together is best there as well, and using my foam dots. I'm also using these flower, which is this red kind of with a tinge of blue, a tinge of yellow, on the side of that title there, and I decided to kind of make it not like, you know, pop that up a little bit, but also kind of make sure that one side of it is actually stuck down directly onto the page there rather than being popped up, because I like the kind of almost an angle, so it almost a flower looks like it's kind of stuck on an angle there, which is pretty cool. Also sticking down this pin, which is from the from this die cut set as well. And now I am just cutting off the excess frame there. I initially was using the Fiskars scissors, but they're not as good for heavy duty stuff, so I decided to use these scissors from Tim Holtz. And the next thing you see me doing here is just adding some journaling. This page itself is probably more about the photo rather than the journaling. It's essentially a bunch of photos from years of, you know, traveling, you know, with my partner, and it's just kind of collection of, you know, our adventure, you know, our sense of adventure, our time together, our holiday, you know, us being so many places together and how well we travel together. So that is essentially the story of this photo, and that that journaling part itself is essentially talking about that, you know, just the memory of so many things. And also I'm going to be adding these enamel dots or puffy stickers from Basic Grey as well as through Calico. I'm going for, you know, pink, navy, blue, yeah, so here's the sketch once again. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be posting this sketch on my blog as per usual, eatscrapbake.wordpress.com, just in case you want to download it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Here are the close-ups, and if you enjoyed this video, I hope you give it a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed it. And if you want YouTube to let you know when my next video comes out, please subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!